Hello everyone, welcome back to Code with Row. Today we're diving into manipulating elements in JavaScript array. We'll learn how to add, remove, and update elements in an array. Let's get started. So in our HTML, I'm going to set up this. Make sure at the end of your body tag, there's a script that links to your JavaScript file. And I'm going to start off with a div, and the class of this will be container. And inside this div, I'm going to add a h1 that says JavaScript arrays, and then a button ID that says add element, or a button ID with an ID of add element, another button with an ID of remove element, and a button ID with an update element. And I'll also add some ptext with an ID of array display. And then I'll control save, and you'll see these three buttons here. And now in my JavaScript file, just like in our last video, we're going to initialize the array. So let's start with fruits again. So I'll do let fruits is equal to, I'll do apple, banana, and cherry. And now I'll add a function to display the array. So function display array, and inside we're going to do, and then we're going to have array display.textContext is equal to the tilde key, which is on the left of your number 1 on your keyboard, with a current array of fruits.join, comma, space, and then end bracket. And now we need to display that array by calling display array. So I'll go ahead and add some comments, hit save, and now you're going to see this current array apple, banana, cherry. And next I want to add a function to add an element to the array. So for this, I need to add a document.getElement by ID. And if we go back to our HTML, let's start off with the add element ID. So I'll add the add element and then do an add event listener, click to register our mouse click, and this will trigger a function. And I'll do open brackets and hit enter. And I'll do fruits.push, and let's push an orange to the array. And we will display the array again and add a semicolon at the end of this function. And I'll hit save. And now since we're using the add element ID, in our index, we have this button that says add element. When we click on it, it adds an orange. And what happens if I click on it again? It keeps adding oranges. So I'll hit refresh here. And now let's add a function to get rid of the last element of the array. So I'm just going to copy paste this, the very top, and this bottom part. And instead of add element, I'm going to change this to remove element. And I'll add a space over here, and I can add a fruits.pop function, and this gets rid of the last element. And now when we do that, we're going to display the array again. So now when I click add element, it'll say orange, and I can click add element again. And then if I click remove element, it'll remove all of them until I have none left. And I'll keep adding oranges. Now I want to add a function to update the second element of the array. So in order to do this, I can actually copy paste this top again and change that remove element now to update element, because that's what's stated in our CSS. And add these endings to this function. I'll add it in a separate line. And now inside this event listener that we created, let's do if fruits.length is greater than 1, open bracket, then we want to call this function or do this only if this is true. So if fruits.length is greater than 1, then we would do fruits of 1, which is our second element, is now equal to blueberry, semicolon, and we're going to display the array again. But if that's not true, so we'll add an else, open bracket, then alert, array does not have a second element to update. Because remember in our last video, the index of 1 is actually the second element because they start at 0. So if you have an array with 10 items, it would go from 0 through 9. And now I can hit control save. And now when I want to update the second element, it'll change the banana to blueberry. And I can remove this, add it again, hit update second element, and it will change that one orange we had back to blueberry. And there you have it. We've learned how to add, remove, and update elements in a JavaScript array. These basic operations are essential for working with arrays in your programs. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Code with Row for more tutorials. Thanks for watching.